This is Music Marketing Week 8. We have done 2 months. This is our 2-month anniversary of doing music marketing. And there's still barely anyone that comes. But I'm still doing it because I believe in y'all. And I hope that y'all find in this. I see y'all viewing it after the fact. So that makes me happy. But if you're making music and you're wondering what the fake, nothing is happening for me, come live or DM me at It's Kisos on Instagram or hit me on Twitch or hit me on Discord, anywhere. And I will answer your questions, and we will go over it together. We will go over it publicly, okay? Because I want to help all of you succeed. We don't have that too much to talk about today, but I want to go into single art and how important that is. I wanted to talk about email lists and how to build those. I wanted to talk about the myth of like getting discovered and having like a big break and overnight success and all of that stuff, because you're not going to get discovered. You have to bring people to you. That's how it works. And then lastly, I want to talk about gatekeepers, basically people that are actively, like maybe people that you have to kind of go through to get success, but they're actively working against you. So someone that's supposed to be on your team, but they are, pushing back on you for whatever reason. And that's especially pertinent because this week there's been a lot of drama with Billboard. Billboard Pride's former editor was fired on Tuesday after an artist came forward saying that he, proving that the editor who was fired was like soliciting him for nudes. Other artists came forward after that. And Billboard has had this as an issue before. Their former CEO stepped down due to sexual harassment, sexually harassing employees. Back in summer, he steps down. So it's a mess. Hifa, what's up? So first I'm going to pull up some Spotify. We'll just go through some single art of just like some new releases, kind of show what I think makes good single art, and what I think needs improvement, to put it nicely. So we're gonna get on the spot, and I'll go through my own music too. I know I got room for improvement, ladies. I know I do. Let me turn my light up a little. Hi, Katie. Something is why the artist manager would choose you instead of someone else. What do you mean? Oh, like why should someone choose me as their like manager or publicist or whatever? Is that what you mean? To clarify, I don't really manage artists. I do PR, so it's really just the marketing side of it. Yes. Yeah, I mean, for me, I do things, I'm a lot more flexible, number one, because I'm a one-person team. Number two, I'm very focused on queer and people of color. So I, have a lot of stronger connections with people that are telling those types of stories than other people might. But also I'm a lot more dedicated to it, and dedicated to those angles because I'm a queer person and a person of color. I'm a musician, so I understand these things a lot more inherently in my soul, how much all this stuff means to the artists. But also, bitch, I'm obsessive. I am obsessive. I am analytical. I don't just like create one message and then we're done. I am fine tuning. I am going surgical on this shit. I spend so much time on each of my artists. I spend way too much time on them. And that's why I don't progress as an artist as much myself, because I'm always just like, oh, I could do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. So PR instead of a manager or producer. I mean, you kind of want to have everything, Hifa. So why would an artist take a PR instead of a manager or producer? You want to have, as many pieces of the puzzle that you can. I'm my own producer to save money. I'm my own manager to save money. I'm my own publicist to save money. Producers, typically, unless they're your friends, they're going to cost money. A manager might not cost money in the sense of you having to pay them, but every time you make money, they're going to be taking a cut of it. And PR is definitely going to cost money per month. So the trade-offs between PR, manager, and producer are kind of that here. Let me make myself bigger again. That's actually a really good question, Hifa. Honestly. A producer is, going to help make sure that your music is as good as it can be. A manager is going to kind of help connect you more with like partnership opportunities, which yes, that could be live shows. Yes, they could be marketing you and doing some publicity for you. But it's also, kind of maybe setting up brand sponsorships or, partnership opportunities like that, or setting up collaborations with other artists, or just helping you kind of grow your social media. All of these other things, like artists that I know that have managers, their managers are helping them book college shows, helping connect them with like label people, even if they're not getting on label, but kind of just like having those industry connections. And then PR is, you know, someone who's just specializing in the marketing side of it and getting you everywhere. Love you. Specializing in the marketing side of it and getting you everywhere. Sometimes that could be like playlists on Spotify, but most of the time it's getting stories written about you. That could also be like partnerships too, or, you know, like takeovers of Instagram and like all of those different things. So they all have their pros and cons. Obviously, the more people you have on your team, the more you can get done, because a manager isn't going to be as good at, they can do PR, but they're not going to be as good at, you know, getting PR as a publicist would. But a publicist isn't going to fill in the blanks that a manager would. And if you have a publicist and a manager, but you don't have a producer, then how are you making music? Are you doing it yourself? Is it at a super high level of quality? All of that stuff. So, girl, it is a lot. It is a lot. I mean, I can't wait till I have a manager. I can't wait till I have someone doing press for me, because it also takes a lot of time. Everything takes so much time when you're doing it yourself, but it's what you have to do. Unless you have money to spare, and I don't. I ain't got no money to spare. So thank you, Hifa, for that very thoughtful, important question. That was amazing. Oh, Kelsey and Megan are doing that every Sunday. I love that. That is so cute. Okay, so now we're going to go over the single art a little bit, which is what I brought up at first. So obviously you can see like Spotify, if this was single art, this is pretty cute stuff. You know, like this could be like a cute single art. It's playful. This could be something, obviously, if it said something else. It's nice colors. I wouldn't make that single art. It's too plain. That is kind of like single art on a different background, so I won't look at that. This is super clean. Stephanie's work, super clean. One of my past artists, Ash, super clean. It doesn't even need to have like, it doesn't even need to have the titles on it. But some of her work is not as clean. Oh, wait, I forgot. She was having an issue where her music was not showing on the right page because she added a $ instead of the S, so it's like desynced. But like this single art, some of this stuff is kind of small. You can't really see it. Yes, Brandon, I'm everywhere. How did you miss that? I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Tidal, Amazon, YouTube, SoundCloud, Deezer, everywhere. Oh, minimum wage for 15 minutes. Oh my God. Juju, where is my tambourine? You are so amazing. Thank you for that donation, Juju. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh. You're so sweet. Okay. So let me go through. Let's go through these. Is there a way I can make this? Yes, I can make this bigger, actually. Oh, no, I can't. Damn it. I want to make these bigger. Here. We'll just kind of go through. I know this is kind of small. I don't think there's a way I can make it bigger. This single art. What do you all think? It's cute. It's hand-drawn. It says her name. It doesn't need to have the EP name. It's not like the most fancy or like, explosive image, but it's sweet. It's cute. And if you listen to the music, it kind of fits in. You know what I mean? Like you can see how that cutesy image. Here, I can make it bigger like this. That works. You can see how the cutesy image fits the song. Give me the link for the playlist. Well, first of all, my Spotify's right here. And it's also, my bot always talks about it, Brendan. Thoughty Thought Bot says important things that you are missing. But yeah, you can see this kind of fits it. Like it's cutesy. The photo really fits. Yeah. So now this is her EP. This was one of her EPs, the Please Like Me EP. I don't like this font choice. You can't really see what it says. It's kind of plain. It's just not, it doesn't really pop out for me. These balloons aren't really popping out for me. She looks great in the front. She's standing out, but it just isn't really telling me a story. And here's the title track from it. Like, it kind of looks like she's at a school dance. So that's setting something up there, you know, and then these songs are kind of like disco dancey. You don't like the I Got the Moves picture? I'll get to it. This one, like, yeah, I think she stands out, but I think the text on here isn't right. Maybe a different background instead of black background would have been right. I'm not sure exactly. I failed you. It's okay, Brendan. Just make it up to me by following me on Spotify, sharing my music, putting it on your playlists, following my playlists, because I also have just like great music recommendations for you, including other amazing Twitch artists. You're amazing, Brendan. Thank you. Ah, yes! So my new song, I collaborated with a producer. All my other music, I did completely myself. But this is good music. It's really good music. Good music. There's just something about this that doesn't get me going. Then I got the moves here. This is a great song. I love this song. I actually really do like the single art personally. And my reasoning why, but I'd love to hear what you don't like, Hifa. But I really like this single art because it's an interesting background. You don't really know what you're looking at. I think the outfit is cute and catchy. It says I got the moves, and she looks very like sporty. Like you can't really tell if it's like, it kind of looks like gym attire, but then you see the shoes, you see everything. She ready to dance. I do like the little font. It feels very retro, and you can feel that the song feels very retro. It's her pose I don't like. That makes sense. That makes sense. It's not, I would agree, it's not the strongest pose. She don't look like she got the move. It looks like I kind of take it as like she's being a little coy. You know, she's kind of saying like, but I understand what you mean. That makes sense. But I do like overall how it's not just, a picture. It is, you can hear that the sound of the music is kind of retro. The font that she chose is retro. The look that she chose is kind of looks like 80s inspired retro. Versus on the Perfect EP, it was a lot more like soft, kind of cutesy, and that fits this Perfect EP perfectly. Now we'll go to Easy, what kind of mood do you get from Easy when you're looking at it? Like what kind of feeling does this give you? What kind of mood? What kind of sound are you envisioning? It definitely looks like it's gonna sound different than these. So again, we can tell already a bad bitch. And then you start listening to it and it's like, oh, this is a little creepy. Oh, what's happening here? This is different. This is interesting. And you can see that it does stand out compared to her other music. It's, she's sitting in this dark room. It's a little ominous. I like this song. It's not my favorite. It does actually still kind of switch up. So like later on, you'll hear that it gets a little more like sounding like her other stuff. But it's still kind of, it's still a little bit like confident and a little bit like bad bitch. Yeah, exactly. Like, so those are some notes just on that artist. We'll go through my own. It also is a thing of, oh, and this is her new album cover, which I think is amazing. Also, her music is amazing. Is this my favorite song? I think it's this one. But yeah, it's kind of close to that Easy look, and kind of Easy is actually the track right after this. So Easy and I Got the Moves are on this one too. So it's kind of like ominous, freaky, but also I love her. Oh my god, she's so good. I'm gonna put her music in the chat. But let me go back to her profile because it will be on this one. Right here. Hey! Oh, I love this part. I don't know the words. It just came out. Don't blame me for not knowing the words. But yeah, you can see like she doesn't, oh, I guess she does have It's Just Art and Ash or something at the bottom, but it's small. There's so many different ways that you can approach album art. It can be drawn like this. It can be a picture. Like it can be so many things. What kind of style is this? I would say it's kind of like synth pop, like retro pop kind of style. With a little bit of R&B. It's pop. I would say it's pop, but a little more like retro, like soulful R&B style. So here, let's go through. This is not my album art. This album art is dope. This is gorgeous. I just love it. There's kind of a lot going on. Yeah, vintage pop. It's definitely wouldn't say it's like, mainstream, but it has elements of mainstream in there for sure. So if we're kind of looking at this, for example, you can see also, it's great when you can see a continuity within the artist. So not that he necessarily has to do the same thing every time. You can see this is kind of like an inversion of This is remixes and it's inversion of the original album art. There's another thing. It's like there's a theme of kind of like heads, these ethereal backgrounds, and like explosions through it. So you can see that he's like staying on brand with this. It's not like there's tons of weird stuff going on. This one's different, but that's because it's another artist's song that he like produced. They collaborated, so it wasn't exactly his art. So if we look at mine, oh my god, 60 followers. Yes, thank you. Also, this playlist, this Kisos playlist, is just all my music. I just made that playlist. Because I used to have an accent in my name, Juju. So when it was sent to like Spotify and iTunes and all of that, it kept the accent. So you can see that this is just my playlist cover. I just made it super simple. I just put the text and my logo. I wanted obviously there to be some indicator that this was mine, something unique to me. And I also wanted them to be a similar type of picture. So that's why I did it that way. If we look at symmetry, bitch, I didn't have time. I didn't have money. I just finished this song and realized I need to have an image for this. We got to put something together because it's coming out in like 2 days. So literally Bigfoot just took my color scheme and we just like put a little triangle in there. We just played around with it for a little bit, and it's not very fancy. Is it very clean? No. Is it ugly? Maybe some people would say so, but I think it's okay. I think it passes. There's, I don't even think I had my logo back then, actually. So, I mean, I could have maybe just put like a logo there in the center. I don't know if that would have worked. But I just wanted something symmetrical. So, triangles are symmetrical. The colors are symmetrical. I did put thought into it, even if it wasn't the most high quality professional thing that I could have done. With the resources that I had, I tried to make it as on brand as I could. Symmetry, similar colors, it fits what I was promoting at the time, all of that. Deatomize, again, I had nothing to work with here. I just took a picture of me and my friend. This is definitely my worst cover art. I just took a picture of me and my friend. I edited it a little bit. There are actually, you can't really see, but there are some lines kind of similar to what that other artist would do it. So I did make it a little bit glitchy, trying to make that show like deatomize, like we're dissolving something in there. And I also tried to wash us out a little bit more so that we looked a little more like ghost-like to add to that feeling as well of us kind of like capturing this thing, like maybe these beings or whatever, just like flashing in on us. And then I do try to be very specific with my font though. Like it's blocked, it's something bold and strong, without looking like cheesy. This one might look a little cheesy, honestly. Voices, this is an art that I drew back in high school. And I was like, it fits symmetry, it fits voices. There's a ton of these little heads. It just seemed like a cool image to me. Again, is it the most polished thing? No. Is the font the best? No. But I think again, it's a bold font. It's something that, shows some like quirkiness in the personality of the font. This is a hand-drawn font, which is why it isn't bold, but I think again, that fits. And then there's the logo here. Hi, Giant. How are you? Who got the original photo of Happily Ever After? I'm keeping those, Hifa. I'm keeping the original Happily Ever After, and the ones of Kevin. The ones of Bigfoot and I in the window. But again, you can see I kept the purple theme. There's a blue theme in here. I use very cool colors, and I tried to stay in that. So that's what we're thinking about when we're thinking about single art. Happily Ever After. Honestly, I should have added a purple tint to this because I came out looking like a little green and orange. But if you look at my banner on social media, let's go to Twitter. You can see it also fits kind of, there's like a pinkish, there's a purple, there's a blue, it's a bold font, there's a logo. It's everything is fitting. Together. Again, is it the best done? No. Like, is this the right color of my face? No. Do I know how to edit properly? No. But everything that I am doing, I am thinking about and trying to get it as close as I could. So, and this single art, like, what do I love about this single art? You'll notice that there's no logo here. I do try to put my logo on. Again, my logo wasn't on symmetry because I didn't have a logo yet. Well, the Kisos little written thing was there, but that was it. So I didn't put a symbol on this one just because I didn't like how it was fitting in. I guess I could have put it here. I don't know. I just didn't like how it was fitting when I looked at it. So I left it off. But what type of emotion does this tell? It's called Happily Ever After. Is it a happy song? at first listen, like at first glance of this, do you think it would be a happy song? I don't know. Maybe seeing the title, but looking at this, it looks like I'm like taking a picture. It looks kind of dark. It doesn't necessarily look like we're together. I have some more pictures in my hand, so maybe it looks like I'm kind of like obsessing over this past person. That's at least what I want it to look like. I want it to look like my first person view, because this is shit that I did, you know? After we broke up and I was heartbroken, I was looking at pictures of us, trying to get myself to throw them away, but I just couldn't because I was so in love with this person. And I wanted to feel that emotion. I wanted everyone to be looking through my eyes, relating directly to that. Mine, all the he got in the past. Yes, exactly. Without this vocals, it does sound happy. Yes. And if you're not paying attention to the lyrics, it might sound happy. But once you hear the song, I feel like the pieces kind of come together about what is this? Yeah, you're looking back at the happy memories, as Hifa said. So it's like there's a lot of shadow, but the original picture looks a lot more spontaneous. It's a selfie. My ex looks like he's smiling. We're both in onesies. It seems like this happy time. But if I'm happy, then why isn't this Polaroid itself just like, you know, the picture? Why is it me holding it in this dark room? Now I'm gonna show you a few more single arts that I'm not a fan of while we listen to my music in the background. I'll go to one of my other artists, Anna. Actually, I like a lot of her single art. There's just, this one was a little more plain, and then actually her new single, I don't really like the single art for. But this song, you can see it kind of looks like, oh, breezy, New Religion, Anna Wang, clean and simple. This one, she just kind of like added a quick edit on there, clean and simple. This one, she did simple. It kind of tells a story. Like, it also kind of looks like a breakup type of thing. Like, there's a bed, it's messy. There's kind of like a caution tape, like warning, like, oh, what happened here? Wait, where does it really hit? But yeah, it's a song about like hookups and shit, and your man's like cheating on you, and like you think everything's cool. Well, you're like stressed out by the relationship, and he's like hurting you, but you don't know how to like break out of. But I think, you know, something like this might have been more powerful with her face. I don't think this shows like the full gravity. In Your Head is really interesting. It's a little heart, but the like heads of her are like dripping in a cup. I don't fully know what that's supposed to mean. And then there's another artist who I think one of her, this is not one of my artists, but I just know her in person. So like I like this single art. This one here, it's kind of interesting. You don't really know what's happening, but her other single art to me isn't quite doing it for me. Especially this last one, Love Yourself. It just kind of looks like the font is really what's turning me off here. Also, I don't quite know what's going on behind that. It could just be like her friends and loved ones, which is a cool concept, but it's not quite popping out to me. And same like on this one, like it's not the best picture of her. She doesn't look super exciting or anything, but the song is called Victory. Yeah, she's wearing gold, which I guess could be like a cool color. I can't really see her last name under there. And again, it's just the font isn't really doing it for me. Victory Remix, the font isn't really doing it for me. Let's see what other artists I have on here that I could just like click on really quick and find someone that I'm not fully. A few more examples of what I'm not fully feeling. Some of those are interesting, some of them are not. There's too much to say on those. Won't you tell me that? Let's see what this artist of mine, let's remember his are okay. That's horrible. Like, make sure that when take it really serious. Like, you can't just upload a picture of you and your friends. He said he didn't realize that this was going to be his like EP picture. But yeah, so I mean that's kind of it. Like, his branding, you can see, has very clearly improved since then, and gotten a lot more cohesive and interesting. Like, I love this single art. Like, there's dynamics, there's an interesting font, there's all of that. So again, just a lot of font can make and break shit. Hi Silas, did I say hi? I saw it, and then I don't know if I said hi or not. So yeah, that's just important stuff to look at. And if you ever want feedback, y'all, hit me up, hit me my DMs. Let me know. I can always give you opinions and great feedback. Okay, so what's next on the agenda, ladies? Silas, we're doing some music marketing right now, and then we're gonna do some Dead by Daylight later. Email lists. So email lists are super important because here's the thing. You know, on social media that, I have like 1,000 whatever followers. Am I getting 1,000 whatever likes per post? No, no, no. I have however many followers on Twitter. Am I getting that many likes per post? No, no, no. Facebook, same thing. Even personal Facebook, same thing. Are all your friends seeing your posts? No. So why is an email list important? Because that is going directly to someone's inbox. Otherwise, you have to like DM bitches, you got to text bitches, you got to be posting nonstop about your music. So it's like the only way to own the contacts and make sure, for example, look at MySpace. MySpace died. There's people with millions of followers on MySpace that now had to start over because all of their followers on MySpace, they never got emails. They never had a way to contact them, especially before social media had really taken off. So it was like, wow, they had done all of this work and it disappeared like that. So if Facebook dies, and it kind of is, Twitter dies, Instagram dies, any of these places die, and you have, say, 20,000 people following you on Facebook, you want to get those people to whatever platforms you are more active on, but you also want to have them permanently in your hand, which would be your email list. So make sure that you are promoting your email list, put it on your website, try to kind of give people perks for signing up. I sometimes do early listens there, or like free downloads, or just share news with them that I wouldn't share anywhere else, or at least I share news with them earlier than I would anywhere else. Run giveaways through there, all of that type of stuff. Because that's the way to keep people active and get more direct clicks as well. Because if someone gets an email from their friend who's releasing music, they're going to click that shit. They're going to click listen. But if someone sees a post on Instagram about new music, they might like it, but then they got to go click this other link. And then maybe that link takes them to another link, or maybe it takes too long to load and they give up, or maybe they're on the train and they give up and they forget. Versus an email list that's like, oh, this is an email. This is permanent. So it's really important to do that. It's really important to do that. And make sure that whenever you're having a performance, you have an email list. If it's something where you can't have an email list, do whatever you can to, maybe there's an RSVP list from, the venue itself or whatever that you can get your hands on. Just get as many people on that email list as you can, but don't get fake people on there. Don't just sign up everyone in your address book or whatever, or like everyone you've ever met, or just trick people into signing up for it, because they're not going to care. But for example, if you're at an event where you can't have an email list but people RSVP'd for this, even if they RSVP'd for like maybe a headliner and you were just opening, they still saw you, they might still be interested, and they can unsubscribe themselves later. So you get whatever you can from these people. Hifa asked, why have you decided to stream games at the beginning? You could have just always streamed music and gotten more famous in the music community. I wasn't good enough to play music on stream and sing, and I didn't know guitar yet when I first started streaming, or at least I also didn't feel comfortable enough. So it took me a few months, but I mean, starting in May was when I was like, you know what? I should start singing more and doing this. So that's why I started doing more music, Hifa. Yeah, just because I wanted to get my skills up first. Otherwise, I felt like I would just be doing like karaoke, which did not interest me. So email list, that's important. A couple more things. You are not going to be discovered. You could have a smash hit and ain't nobody gonna talk to you. You could be playing at the biggest venue and get nothing from it. You are not going to be discovered. People are so busy. Managers are busy. Publicists are busy. Producers are busy. Barely anyone is going out to venues to discover new artists. Barely anyone is going to find your song, even if it has 100,000 plays. Because there's so many other people that are getting just as much attention from you. Look at a Spotify playlist. Look how many people are on there. So yeah, you got on a great Spotify playlist, and what? So you have to make sure that when that shit happens, you are adding it to your pitches, you are adding it to your press releases, you are taking your own destiny into your own hands and saying, hey, you know what? Instead of hoping that this exec, here's my music, I'm going to send it to them. I'm going to find them, or I'm going to find someone who's connected to them, and I'm going to work my way through. I'm gonna, you know, contact this venue. I'm gonna contact this booking agent. I'm gonna contact this manager. I'm gonna contact this licensing company to get your music out there. Because until you start building your team, no one's gonna build that team for you. You have to find people. Everyone that I know that has a manager has grinded the shit out of it to get to a point where fine, maybe a manager did finally reach out. But, you know, they were releasing music consistently for a really long time, getting their own press, doing all of this stuff, or investing in press. What if someone contacted you to create or use one of your songs for a movie like Adele or James Bond? Yeah, girl, you can get hella money from that. That's what licensing company is. So you want to like reach out. The more you have your music out in the public eye, you know, for example, if let's say I just release music on Spotify and I just tell all of you, what's going to happen? Sure, some of you will probably share it. But then what? Maybe some of your friends will even share it. So it goes like 3 steps further. I share it to you, you share it to your friends, maybe their friends share it to their friends. It reaches out a little bit. And that's what happened with Happily Ever After. But if I didn't get Billboard, if I didn't get this other press, I also wouldn't have expanded beyond anything. I wouldn't have padded up my resume to be able to say like, this artist has been featured in Billboard, he's been featured here, we raised this much money during our fundraising event, he, you know, broke this whatever record, blah, blah, blah. If you're not adding that stuff and sending that through your pitches, then it didn't happen. And if you're not making it happen, it's also not going to happen. But yeah, Hifa, that's what I'm saying. Like if you're working to get your music in, you know, playlists and pitching these companies that then will put it in commercials and things like that, the more you do everything, the more things will happen, but nothing's just going to appear for you. And there's a lot of artists that I see that just kind of release their music, promote it once, and then they're done. It's like, oh my God, you spent how long making this music? And you're just going to post about it on Instagram for like a week and then you're done? You're happy with that? You're happy with spending months of your life and thousands of your dollars and like tears and sweat just to get 30 listens or 30 listeners? Just to get 1,000 plays on your whole album? No, ma'am, you deserve more than that, and you can get more than that. Keep posting about it. Reach out to press. Reach out to local press. It doesn't have to be Billboard. It can be your local newspaper. You're always going to reach a new audience. And start building whatever community you can. A lot of you are probably on Twitch if you're watching this. A lot of you aren't watching this at all. But if you're watching this, it's probably from Twitch, maybe YouTube. And yeah, explore live streaming, explore different ways that you can directly interact with your community and build a community. Because that's been a great way for me to be able to reach so many more people and have so many more friends and listeners than I ever would have if I was just doing this the same way I was before. Do you know personally some famous artists? I wouldn't say famous, but people that are the next ones to be famous, you know what I mean? Hi, Chrissy. Yeah, like I know a lot of artists that they're getting close. You know what I mean? They're getting close. Hi, James. Hi, Chrissy. How are you? Hi, Zuxor. We're going to be doing Dead by Daylight in a little bit. I'm just finishing this up. Like, here, I'm going to show you my friend because she has new music out and she is so good. She just released new stuff. It might not look like she's that big, but believe me, she's getting really big. Here, this song is so good. Lost My Faith. This is my friend Anna East. I met her in like 2015. 2014? I don't know, I met her a long ass time ago. I've been following her for so long. She used to be a background singer for Years and Years, which is a really huge UK band. And then she broke off from them. And then Sleeping Lion, they have a really small social media following. But their music is really popping off too. Again, it doesn't look like they have like that many monthly listeners, but believe me, things are happening. A lot of these people have like a lot of things that you don't even realize are happening. Like behind the scenes stuff. Or they're collaborating with like huge artists, but it's just, you know, you don't see it here. But look, they also have really good single art, you know? It's very thought out. It's very contrasted. It looks very cohesive with each other. I'm doing good, James. I mean, I'm stressed by a lot of stuff. You're in the best place ever. You know Years and Years? Yeah, Chrissy. I mean, they're huge. I don't know them personally. I wish. soon enough. But yeah, that artist I was talking about knows them, and I'm friends with her. So right now it's like knowing big artists through another artist who's about to be big, but isn't quite that big yet. Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about is just talking about gatekeepers in the music industry, and that's really what I've been spending all my time on this week. There's been, like I said, there's stuff with Billboard, former editor getting fired after sexually harassing multiple artists, basically asking them for nudes, asking at least one artist to like give him head, or like asking to give the artist head, like saying like, I'll give you head, come here, we're in the same city. So basically this happens in all aspects of all industries, but in music it happens a lot, especially to women. There's a lot of, producers that Dr. Luke, I can't think of any others on the top of my head, but like Dr. Luke, for example, abusing Kesha, abusing, other artists have come forward as well, or at least said that they thought that things were off with him. And he kind of held her music hostage. JoJo's music was held hostage. That's not sexual, gatekeeping, but there's artists being held hostage by the industry at all times, and it's for various different reasons. A lot of times it's usually happening to women, because they want, the female artists to look a certain way, have a certain sound, and they feel like they can push them around just because they're a girl. Which is obviously false. But sometimes when someone is so much in power, you can't do anything against it. So, there's a lot of times where it's saying like, we're not going to put your music out unless you lose 10 pounds. I'm not going to work with you as a producer and give you this banging hit unless you suck my dick. Or as was the case with Billboard, we're not going to, we're going to take you off this playlist because you didn't send me your dick pic. Or basically harassing artists nonstop, even if he wasn't necessarily going to mess with their success, but saying a lot of comedian and actors are not making music. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are involved in all of that stuff and like everything, like, and it happens in the acting world too. It happens everywhere. There's a lot of people that, they won't get you an audition unless you fuck them. They won't give you the part unless you fuck them. And it's like, these are such massive opportunities sometimes where you're like, well, bitch, I guess I'm just going to let him abuse me, because it will change my life for the better getting this part and getting this opportunity. But the fact that that's even a thing, and there's people preying on artists like me and the other ones who have come forward after being sexually harassed by the Billboard Pride editor, it's like, especially, it's for everyone with Billboard Pride, it's like, we're all queer. Most of us are people of color. It's very vulnerable communities that are preyed on, that are seen just more often as less than in society, like that are seen as less important. And it's just totally unacceptable. People also aren't speaking out about it. And I guess all I'm trying to say with this gatekeepers conversation is that if anything ever happens, just talk to as many people as you can. Say that someone is saying they're not going to cover you unless you're naked for them or whatever. You don't necessarily need to go public at first. I mean, you can also keep it to yourself private. You can do whatever you want. But the first thing is, trying to make sure that you have hopefully some concrete evidence, like text messages. All of the dudes that came forward have screenshots of our messages with this Billboard editor, former Billboard editor. Getting some type of information like that you can use against them. Trying to find out, other artists maybe that they've covered, or find other people that this might have happened to, like doing some detective work, reaching out, and, just trying to get to the bottom of things. Or just realizing, hey, you know what? I don't have to go through that. Or maybe you do. And maybe that's how you want to advance your career, because it's worth it. I would never judge someone for that, because I get it. But yeah, just think about things more than you might otherwise. Don't brush things off. Take everything seriously, because I didn't. And then it turns out he was doing this to all these people. And I could have come forward back in June and we could have solved this shit. I could have stopped all these people from happening. I don't blame myself, because I honestly just thought I was the only one. But of course I had inklings. I was like, well, if he's doing it to me, he's probably doing it to other people. But I don't know, whatever. Maybe just because I met him in person. All of that stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot of gatekeepers in the industry. There are going to be a lot of people that tell you no for a completely irrelevant reason, that are telling you no because you're not doing something for them. And they're kind of like blacklisting you or blackmailing you or whatever. So, bitch, come to me. Come to anyone. I am dedicated to this shit now. This is apparently my life. I am advocating for victims of sexual harassment in the arts. And I ain't mad about it. I'm happy to some fucking champion this shit until everything gets taken down and exploded. And y'all get fired and everything is right in the world. So that is where we're going to. That is where we are going to end this music marketing. If you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, anywhere. It's @itskisos. If you're interested in finding out more about my company, it's @Hey Miller Place, HeyMillerPlace, Hey Miller Place, hey @itskisos. Yeah, and I'll figure out what we'll talk about next week, or might take the week off. We'll see. But yeah, thank you all for coming.